Det är gryning vid ett av FNs världsarv, Angkor Wat-templet i Kambodja. Unga backpackers och äldre turister från hela världen har kommit för att se templet spegla sig i vattnet. Kambodja har ett mörkt förflutet med år av förtryck, folkmord och fattigdom. Idag blomstrar turismen och ekonomin har fått ett uppsving. Men samtidigt är det något som förbryllar, för det är något mer som ökar i Kambodja. Antalet barnhem. Det har visat sig att 80% av barnen i institutionerna inte alls är föräldralösa och att det ibland finns andra drivkrafter bakom barnhemmens existens. Som att tjäna pengar och i vissa fall en möjlighet till sexuella övergrepp. Det här oroar en del, men barnhemsturismen fortsätter med god fart. Så vi frågar oss, hur hänger egentligen turismen och barnhemmen ihop?
It's surprisingly common for tourists to come to Cambodia to know the country, to visit Angkor, but they also come with the idea of understanding how people live, maybe to help, and then they get this notion that by visiting an orphanage, they get a good sense of reality and they help.
UNICEF, som jobbar ihop med regeringen, säger att det finns 16 000 barn i institutioner i landet. En annan undersökning från Columbia University säger att det handlar om 50 000 barn. Bara i Siem Reap, staden där landets största turistattraktion Angkor Wat ligger, har antalet barnhem ökat från 29 stycken 2005 till ett 80-tal idag.
There are many reasons why we have so many institutions in the country. It's associated with poverty. It's associated with a misconception that placing a child in an institution will ensure that the child will get better education, will get better opportunities in life. But it's also associated with funding that frequently comes from abroad that makes these institutions some kind of business-like operations. So they actually make profit out of the goodwill of people that contribute to the institutions. They think they're doing something good for the children. They're actually contributing to a business that's detrimental to the well-being of the children.
Parents give their children away under pressure to provide the best future for the children. And it may be they think or have been told that the education the child will get will be better in the orphanage. The child will have cleaner surroundings to live in. The orphanages will often come to the villages, talk to the parents and persuade them to give up their children. It's something you feel perhaps is in the best interest of your child.
Welcome, visit Angkor Wat. So now we take you to Rolus Group.
Den som turistar vid tempelområdet kan lätt avsluta dagen med ett besök på ett barnhem. Lättast är att fråga närmaste taxichaufför eller guide.
Do you think you can take us to an orphanage?
Yeah, we're going to Rolus Group. Rolus Group used to be the old historical size, you know, an orphanage center there.
So do you take many tourists to this orphanage?
Some, because this is how to reduce poverty. And then you can see the temple, you can see the village people, you can see the orphanage center and cow skin center. Cow skin leather.
So children come there to
learn. Come to learning there because they and then the tourists come to see and then enjoy the children working there. Some they volunteer 1 month, some 2 weeks, some 3 months.
På barnhemmet Little Angels får ett 70-tal barn lära sig ett konsthantverk och gå i skolan. Volontären Celine Ho från Malaysia kom dit som besökare för några år sedan. Idag jobbar hon utan lön och visar gärna runt den som vill se stället.
A lot of people mistaken like it could be child labor, but it is not. So the children go to school, all of them have to go to school, and then they come back, they can spend 1 or 2 hours doing the carvings. Because they need the products to get the money for food. There's no forcing you to work or something like that. You work because you want to work and you want to save money for whatever you need.
Do you get tourists coming every day, or?
Some days are very quiet, but some days are really good when you can have like up to $500 sales. You know? But again, they need to really keep a pot of money for, you know, even like the director, he's got a car. If the car breaks down, he needs money as well to fix the car. So there are a lot of all these costs that you need the money, and he has a family to feed as well. His children have to go to school too, you know, so.
But you get between $1 and $500 a day from tourists?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes. Sometimes, like this morning, we only had maybe $30 or $40 sales. You know, then that will be enough for the food tomorrow. Right. So once in a while, we will have nice people coming, and then they will make donations like money, and then we will go get the mattresses. Like these ones were just bought from a Canadian lady. She came early January, and then she kind of like thought about this place after she went back, raised some money in Canada. And she raised about $1,500. So it's like stories like that that keeps this place going. No. This part of the flooring and the back part is actually done by my friends. So they raised the money and then they made the flooring. Just like last year, a group of French people came in, they raised money. And then we try to use the funds according to some of the wishes that they have and what we need. We'll tell them, and then they will buy. So they sponsored the 5 cabinets. So we try to tell the tourists, you know, when they want to raise funds. So I usually say groceries because I can prove to you what I bought, you know. So some people, they want to see where the money goes, right?
Some people are very naive. We get very well-intentioned young people and also older people coming from Europe, and they think that by going to an institution and leaving a little bit of gifts and smiling to the children, even playing with the children, they're doing something good. Actually, this is treating children like objects. It's treating children like attractions. It's totally against their rights.
Yeah, in the orphanage, they build like a stage for performance. And when the tourists come, they just sit in the front, and the children, they perform on the stage. So, and after the performance, sometimes the volunteer, they just go around the children area, the children's sleep area. And I tried to stop them, but the director, they thought it is not right because they want to see how difficult of the children, and they will be sponsored to make it better. They donate $20, $5, and up to $500.
Att barnhem som tillåter besökare att komma och hälsa på och titta på barnen. Barnhem som låter barnen uppträda för turister. Barnhem som låter barnen följa med turister ut. Då har du redan svaret. Då är inte det för barnens bästa. Då är det någonting annat som ligger bakom.
Organisationen Friends driver kampanjen Children are not tourist attractions och fördömer barnhemsturismen. Men de vänder sig också mot volontärerna, de som stannar lite längre och faktiskt är där för att göra nytta.
So right now we are in Pub Street, the place where all tourists come. So there are plenty of shops, restaurants here, and a lot of young people, seniors, juniors, everyone. And the thing about Siem Reap is that it's the most touristic city of Cambodia. And people come here, obviously there's Angkor Wat next door. they take the opportunity of traveling, discovering the world, and also doing good by volunteering in some places, so that they can also use that as like work experience. Volunteering is actually a very, very good thing. But it depends where you're volunteering, how long you're volunteering. You have to think also, what are the skills that you are bringing to the team? If you have no skills to bring, there's no point to volunteer. For example, like you might be volunteering with children for 1 week, right? And you're what, teaching them English? If you teach them like ABC, and then for 1 day, and then the next day another volunteer will come and teach the same thing. And the other day, the next day, another volunteer will come and teach the same thing. There's no like continuity in the learning.
Kambodja är en av många destinationer om man vill jobba som volontär. Men hur ska man tänka om man vill komma ut och göra nytta? Olof har just gått ut gymnasiet och tänker volontärjobba som engelsklärare.
Ja, nu söker jag på volontär och då kommer det direkt upp massa länkar som det står annons på.
På Amsungo volontärresa, där kan man faktiskt exempelvis åka till Rio de Janeiro och jobba på ett barnhem.
Då är man med och tar hand om de här barnen och leker med dem varje dag och ser till att de har det bra och så. Sen har vi även andra barnprojekt i olika afrikanska länder såsom Kenya, Tanzania och Zambia. Man kan även åka till Thailand om man vill, arbeta med barn, med skola och barnhem.
Det är ju sjukt mycket grejer som kommer upp här. Volontärarbete utomlands, go explore. Och så finns det olika kategorier då. Volontärarbete med barn, sjukvård, sport, volontärarbete med djur, surfing. Jag undrar hur det kan vara volontärarbete. Global Contact. Du kan jobba med allt från gatubarn, undervisning och kultur till sport, organisationsarbete och djur i Amazonas. Volontärresor.se.
Jag valde att åka som volontär för att få perspektiv på saker och ting. Perspektiv och sen att även kunna hjälpa andra är fantastiskt.
Olof fastnade till slut för Go Explore och destinationen Nepal. Avgiften är betald och på plats väntar volontärjobb i en skola.
Det kostar så mycket som 21 000 tror jag om man räknar in flygbiljett tur och retur.
För hur lång tid?
5 veckor. Jag ska åka från Stockholm till Doha och sen åka vidare till Kathmandu. Det känns både som en chans att komma bort från Sverige och få lite konkret erfarenhet. Jag är också intresserad av kulturen, Nepal som land och naturen. Jag gör ju det här för att jag vill, 100%. Jag betalar ju för det. Så då på det sättet känns det som att jag kommer ju ge mer kanske.
Vi är tillbaka i Kambodja och Phnom Penh. Alla volontärer som anländer till huvudstaden hamnar såklart inte på barnhem. Men många gör det.
Well, we find many young volunteers, well, volunteers of all ages, but many young volunteers particularly will come. They will come for a gap year experience. And they too have been sold on the idea that this is a good thing to do, to come to Cambodia, to support the poor children in Cambodia. And most of them don't have any childcare skills, but they can speak English or they can teach English. So that's something they can use then to recruit children. They can say to families, well, we have English teachers coming regularly to work with the children. So your children will gain skills in English, they'll mix with foreigners, they'll have all this new experience that will help them in the future. But the reality is that if you're being asked to provide childcare in a situation where children should be protected, and you're not a professional, you shouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't be allowed to do it back home. If you look on Facebook and you look on Twitter, you see a lot of documentation about the effect it has on the volunteers. Here I am hugging this child. Oh, I love this child. I love little Savan, and it's breaking my heart that I have to go home in 2 days. Just imagine what that's doing to Savan's heart. He's got to know you, he's become friends with you, you're off, you're out of his life. That's it, you know, and that's been repeated again and again and again and again all over Cambodia.
Den svenska regeringen har också velat uppmärksamma baksidorna av barnhemsturism och därför åker en delegation för att lära sig mer. I gruppen finns poliser och företrädare för organisationerna ECPAT och Childhood. Och arrangören, som är den nationella samordnaren mot människohandel.
Ja, i vår roll som nationell samordnare mot människohandel och sexuell exploatering av barn så fick vi ett regeringsuppdrag, ett uppdrag att informera om hur man kan förebygga att barn utsätts i samband med barnhemsturism och volontärturism. Så då valde vi att åka till Kambodja, för vi vet att i Kambodja så har barnhemmen ökat i samband med att också turismen ökar. Och vi vet att det är en problematik i landet.
Polisen i Phnom Penh berättar om olika typer av övergrepp. Det finns flera fall av barn som utnyttjats sexuellt på barnhem, i skolor och i kyrkor. Men det finns de som kämpar emot. Apple, Action pour les enfants, är den största inhemska organisationen som jobbar mot sexuellt utnyttjande av barn i Kambodja.
There are a lot of good foreigners that come for the benefit of Cambodia, but then there are also some negative people that, exploit the situation, the poverty, by going through the vulnerability of children and family to get children for abuse. They come from the US, they come from the UK, Australia, the Nordic countries. Okay, so we will take you to see some of the hotspot locations, to see tourists, who might be just roaming around the place to find their own, ways to get around with children, unattended by adults, like street working or begging children, selling souvenirs, something like that. Every day we send investigators out to search for suspicious behavior, to search for interaction between adults and children, and to start identifying victims of sexual abuse. Yeah, we can have a little bit walk there just to see the sense. Yeah. Sometimes we find people walking with children into a hotel, and that is just alarming that a child is walking with an adult foreigner or a suspect into the hotel.
You said you come here twice a week?
Twice a week to monitor the place, yeah. Sometimes a foreigner having kids here, sometimes a group of children, but with one foreigner or something like that, so just follow up with that. We are civilian, we don't have gun, we don't have power to arrest, we don't have power to execute any search warrant, something like that. But we have information, we talk to people, we watch certain behavior, we analyze based on our information and experience, and then have to bring the police on board to take, actions. They find the victim here. So darker, there will be children roaming around here. There are also child prostitute. We got a number of cases in which the offender committed the crime here. Like the Australian guy, they just brought a group of children into the dark place and they abused them there. Here they are. Even if you see them quite alone in a group, but there are people organizing this. But you never know.
Turister plockar fortfarande upp barn på gatan. Men allt oftare sker övergreppen i skydd av olika institutioner som egentligen är till för att ta hand om barnen. Det finns flera fall av volontärer som förgripit sig på barn.
We got a lot of cases involving orphanages and child focus organizations who are being run by people interested in child sex. A case involving a Dutch guy who was, in the past convicted of sex abuse with children back in the Netherlands. He left the Netherlands to come here. He set up just a small local orphanage in the community where he brought all the children to his sailing class, English teachings. He was living in a poor community, helping all these poor kids. And slowly he was just abusing children. In many cases it was challenging to gather information, evidence to bring cases to the police because the victim did not want to talk about abuse, they didn't want to give any evidence. The family also put the pressure, so they didn't want to, frustrate or upset the orphanages or the management, so they may lose support or something like that. So they keep the abuse going on for years and years. Sometimes the donor themselves covered the story. So we didn't have good cooperation at all. And it's always very, a complex issue when investigating abuse involving institutions.
We are not doing the police work, but we assist them technically and also in terms of investigating results we have. First, the grooming was very visible in public. Perpetrators just approach children on the street directly, start the grooming, and finally abusing them. Yeah? Now the trend is not like that. Rather than approaching children on the street directly, they may think of NGO. People embed themselves into any career who can allow them access to children directly, like teacher, NGO workers. So in the last 5 years, we conduct investigation into more than 1,000 suspected persons. And among 1,000, we identify them to be 33. But this finished and vanished. And we cannot say these are the only 33, because in that 1,000, we have some that we do not know their nationality, because some just only spend time 1 month, 1 week, 2 weeks in Cambodia grooming, and we were unable to identify their nationality, and then they left the countries.
Cambodia alone would not make it enough to stop this problem. We need police from Sweden, we need police from the Nordic country, we need active police from the US, we need police from the UK, just to make sure we prevent all possibility for these people to travel overseas to get, contact with children in Cambodia.
Dagen lider mot sitt slut i de mäktiga templen i Angkor Wat. Samtidigt har den svenska delegationen fått en bild av utsatta barn som riskerar att drabbas av turismens mörkaste sidor. Någon pekar på risken för sexuellt utnyttjande. En annan menar att barnhemsbarn kan bli handelsvaror för folk som vill tjäna pengar. En tredje säger att de tillfälliga besökarna skadar barnen genom att behandla dem som turistattraktioner.
Såklart är majoriteten av de som åker ut, både som turister som besöker barnhem och volontärer, gör det med goda intentioner. Men man får också tänka på att man då kanske bidrar till och förenklar för dem som inte har goda intentioner.
We need to find ways to redirect those good intentions, either into very good volunteering opportunities, win-win-win situations for the volunteer, for the community that they're working in, for the people they're working with. Or we need to say to them, please, don't come and volunteer. Come to Cambodia for a holiday.
Please follow me.
I don't think it's the major drive for the tourism industry, but it's a specific niche that some have exploited. And this comes from international tourist organizations, but you also see it at the grassroots level within Kambodja.
Resande och också att vara volontär är jättebra. Det finns många bra saker man kan göra, men barnhem kanske inte är det bästa. Och man får titta på vart det är man åker och varför man åker och vad blir konsekvenserna av att jag är där under den här tiden och hur ser det ut fortsättningsvis när inte jag är kvar där.
Och vi som jobbar med det här vet att det finns otroligt mycket man kan göra för att stötta familjer, för att stötta släktingar, för att stötta anhöriga så att barnen inte ska behöva växa upp på en institution. Så det är en väldigt viktig lärdom och ett budskap till de som vill hjälpa barn i fattiga länder. Det finns andra alternativ.